I look like Sideshow Bob Marley. I look like I let the dogs out. Some of y'all are looking at me like, who? I look like my dreads stink, and they do. I look like I like anime, but I don't. Alright, that joke has got me into a lot of long conversations with nerds. Alright, I'm a nerd about certain things, but by that I mean 90s hip hop only. And don't affirm that because the anime people win. Like, yeah, you can have a thing. No. That's cultural appropriation that only the Wu-Tang can get away with. I look like Randy Moss if he tore his ACL in high school. It's hard living a certain way. People expect you to be a certain way. I used to read in public because I thought it would make me more attractive to women. And by read in public, I mean watch conspiracy videos on YouTube loudly without headphones. So I didn't attract any women, needless to say. Just other potheads who wanted to talk to me. Hey, aliens, right? I'm like, all right, sir, back up. I don't have a cigarette, back up. I've been told I act white. I grew up amongst the whites. I don't know if you've heard, if you could tell. When I grew up, people always used to be like, oh, Reed, you're so white. You're the whitest black guy I know. You don't even count as a black guy. You're so white. And I used to get my ego. I used to puff up my head, right? I would get pulled over by cops, like, excuse me, officer. There's no need to be belligerent. I've been told I'm white. My name is Reed. There's an upside and a downside to having the name Reed. When I was younger, kids would pick on me. They would be like, oh, does your mom name you Reed because you know how to read? And I'd be like, yep. I came out the womb with a copy of A Catcher in the Rye, like, whang! They're all phonies. Whang! Where's John Lennon? So I replied, no, mom didn't name me Reed because I can read now. Did your mom name me Richard? Because, oh, I'm sorry, you look like a dick to me. That's all, you look like a dick. There is an upside to having the name Reed. My name is Reed and none of my women are illiterate. All of my women are literate. I've never had a girl say, I can't read. That joke is about consent, so if you're not into that, I don't know what I have for you. Thank you all, seriously, for letting me speak at one of your rallies. For my next act, I'd like to sing the national anthem. Please remain seated. If you're in the back there, maybe take a knee. Did you guys know the way you're supposed to pronounce Nike is knee? Okay. That joke could take a while to get. Not as long as equal rights, but it could take a while to get. Any ladies out there like black guys? That's fair. I've been doing comedy a while. I could have been like, anybody here like tacos after midnight? I'll be like, yeah! Anybody here like black guys? You know what they say, once you go black, daddy don't pay for your education anymore. I was with a white woman once. She was a travel nurse, so she paid for all my things, and I just got to focus on comedy. I feel some of you pulling back, but you don't know my relationship with God, okay? Reparations work in mysterious ways. One of the places that we went was the Pacific Northwest. I don't know if anyone's familiar with the Pacific Northwest, but that's where they make white liberals. There's 2 factories, one in Seattle, one in Portland, and they do not stop. Just 24/7, 365, during a pandemic, working double time. I started doing comedy in the South, so I learned how to make white conservatives laugh first. And I don't know what it is about ignorance and butter. It just sits here. You know, and it makes you laugh harder at stuff you're not supposed to laugh at. You know, you can be a little naughty with some butter in you. Any white liberals here? Yeah, passively speak up when the black man needs you to. Like you do, like you do. I don't like white liberals because they act like they don't like white nationalists, but they love the Game of Thrones. Which is like the whitest show about the whitest nation on the whitest world we live on. Like winter's coming? Nah, it's been here a minute. Even though Daenerys and Targaryen are black names. All the Targaryens, Rhaemon, Dagar, Aegon, I know them. Rhaegar Targaryen sounds like he averaged a triple-double during the NBA Finals. And you can't even say Daenerys without rolling your neck. Daenerys. Let's go see what's about to happen with Daenerys. I feel like white liberals take from the black community without realizing it. Like body positivity. I think body positivity is a black invention, but we never gave it a name. He was like, I like thick chicks, and that's as far as we got. And if you ask me, that's all you need to say. And now you see it everywhere. Body positive, be body positive, let Lizzo do that, you know? I feel like body positivity is so inherently black. We've had a black president, sure, but like half black. And like African. And Michelle was in the White House talking about push-ups and kale and... I mean, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool. But I like to think like a full black president, like full black president. I would like to think the first lady, like mom, like full black, like mom's from Atlanta, dad's from Oakland. I would like to think the first lady would weigh 350 pounds, and she wouldn't say anything about school lunches except for, more square pizza. I went to a white liberal hip hop show. It's different from a regular hip hop show. You go to a regular hip hop show, and the MC is like, everybody say hey, ho, right? We go to a white liberal hip hop show, and the MC is like, everyone say hello, sex worker, I respect what you're doing. I hope you get home safely. We should find a way to legalize this so you don't have to worry about getting murdered by some businessman from overseas. I mean, you don't even have sex with him. You just do his nails while he complains about his wife. And you're not complaining because you get paid. Like you really get paid. Like student loans are paid off. Like you're good. And sometimes he lets you use the New York Times subscription with the app, which is nice because you want to be informed, but you can't be reading articles all day. Someone's got to pay for that. And you have a system where you talk about current events in between him complaining about his wife, which is nice. That's something that's supposed to be physically stimulating for him, turns out to be mentally stimulating for you. It's crazy how life works out that way. And you have a group chat with some friends from high school where you let them know where you're going to be and how long you're going to be there and the guy's name. So if you go missing, you won't go missing. Like someone should be able to find you, but still, there should be a union. And after that, it's like, who wants to twerk? You know? Who wants to twerk after that? Pacific Northwest, I got called a lot of names from other comics for jokes that I would just try at open mics, you know, just try to see what sticks, what lands. Comics would call me names. No audience members had a problem, but comics would call me names like homophobic, misogynistic, transphobic. And it was hard, you know, it hurt. But I'm from the South, and it was a nice break from the N-word. Like, woo, at least these white people are being a little creative as to why they don't like me. This is nice. The N-word doesn't bother me, like don't try me. But there are other things that white people say that bother me, like step out of the car, please. What, is this exactly where we're going? Stuff like that hurts. It bothers me when white people say, bless your heart to black people. That might be a southern thing, but when white people say bless your heart to black people, it makes me uncomfortable because y'all know we have heart problems. That's statistical. That's proven by the American Heart Association, otherwise known as AHA. Or AHA. It also bothers me when people say, oh, I'm sorry, my dog is racist. Your dog is racist. Aren't dogs colorblind? Or are these just lies and propaganda they feed us during episodes of the Rugrats? I thought all dogs understood was womp, 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 spike. wah 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 outside. I didn't know they knew wah 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 wah. Attack the one with Timberlands. Like, what makes a dog racist? Did it lose its job to a seeing eye dog? What makes to a black lab, right? What makes a dog racist? Does it have a racist growl like nah? What makes a dog racist? Some of y'all pull back, but all dogs matter. Okay? I really mean that. All dogs matter. It bothers me when white people say, I don't see color. I had a cop say that to me recently. He pulled me over and was like, son, do you know why I'm pulling you over? And I was like, why? Because I'm a young black man? He was like, no, son, I don't see color. It's because you ran that red light 2 miles back. And I was like, I'm sorry, officer, but I don't see color. Now, y'all might think that's clever, but he did not. He did not. He beat me black and blue, dark gray and a lighter shade of gray. That was my time in the Pacific Northwest with that young lady. After that breakup, it was good. I was good to get out of that relationship. It was an abusive relationship. Anybody here in an abusive relationship? Blink if you need help. My ex hit me once, broke my glasses. I didn't hit her back when she hit me though. I didn't hit her back because I couldn't find her. Once I got my glasses back on, trust to believe. She choked me and we cried. All right. That last line isn't the funniest, but it helps me identify who's in messed up relationships. And that's okay. We're all trying to love. Like, I grew up in a hostile environment, right? Like, trash talk is my love language. My mom was very helpful in me getting into theater, helped me to find my little auditions, helped me with my lines, my song, my little dance routines. But after a couple weeks of her seeing that I was really into it, she would just call me gay at breakfast. And then be like, oh, Reed, the only reason why I do it is so when you go to school and the other kids do it, it won't hurt as much. You remember, can't no one insult you like your mama. Now practice that routine one more time, you little queen. You're gonna be late for that bus. And I ain't driving you. So that's what I'm like. Trash talk is my love language, but you can't talk to this new generation of Yas queens. Any Yas queens? You don't have to say it. I can smell the Yas. You can't talk to them like that. You gotta be like, you can't be like, all right, if I gotta feed you, get in the car. You know, like, you're a burden, but I love you. You can't talk like that. You gotta be like, is the baby hungry? Yeah. Is the baby hungry? Yeah. Let's take the baby to the taco truck around the corner. We're gonna take the baby to the taco truck around the corner because the taco truck around the corner is always open for my baby. We're gonna get the baby a breakfast burrito for the taco truck around the corner because the taco truck around the corner always got a burrito for my baby. She'd be like, yeah. It's difficult dating. You know, they say that like a pastor's daughter is the freakiest girl to be with because they grew up the most strict, or like a Mormon, right? Since they grew up strict, they're wild. You guys should try getting one of these girls from ISIS. I'm telling you, get you a Taliban bed. I was in an open relationship with a woman named Sunni, and she was mad because my side piece was the Shia. I didn't want to convert, but her food made me seek. But I was out there though, I was out trying to date women with kids. I don't mind women with kids. Kids remind me of like a simpler time. This one kid, his fingertips were red, and his mom was like, what were you doing? What were you playing in? Why do your hands look like that? And he said something that really resonated. He was like, oh, if I tell you, you're gonna be so mad. Like, I definitely was an if I tell you, you're gonna be so mad kind of kid, but you can't take that into adulthood. You can't even make that noise. Oh. You've been late 3 times this week. Do you have a good excuse? Oh. Right? A cop pulls you over, son. How many drinks have you had tonight? Oh. Officer, if I tell you, you're gonna take me to jail. I told you should have drove, Natasha. Right? It's 2 in the morning. Your phone's going off. Your girl sees it. She's like, who is Natasha? And why is she texting you at 2 a.m.? Oh, baby, if I tell you, you're gonna be so mad. I did find a lovely lady though. It has improved my life. It's hard when people want you to be better, your better self, right? Your ego struggles with that. I used to not wear contacts or glasses for a while because I thought that, like a muscle, my eyes would get stronger if I just raw dogged vision for a year. So I should be like, every time I see you, you make such a stupid face. Why do you always look like this when I see you? Why don't you just get contacts or glasses so you don't have to do that? Right? Great advice. But my male ego still had to jump out. Be like, yo, why are you trying to change me? Maybe there's stuff out there that I don't want to see. You ever think about that? I done spent this long barely being able to see, and it's gotten me to where I am today. Where am I? Where are you? Say something. Hello? Hello? I drink a lot, but I don't really need to. My dad drank a lot. My dad was an alcoholic, so it's in my blood. I can blow .07 when I'm sober. My dad drank so much, my first word was slurred. My dad drank so much, my mom's baby shower was a kegger. He heckled her labor. Keep it tight, you know. You gotta be careful what substances you abuse, especially if you wanna have kids. You don't wanna have a weed baby that comes out, the doctor slaps it on the button and starts giggling. Or I had a friend who used to do Viagra, and I bet his kid's gonna grow up to be a real stiff. Thank you, there's usually a band here when I tell that joke. It's hard not to drink though. I used to work at a grocery store. There was all these different wine names like Middle Sister and Twisted Sister. I'm like, is this what we do now? This what we name the alcohol after the psychological problems that cause the alcoholism? In that case, hey bartender, let me have my ex is doing better than me. What's that, you don't have any Rachels? How about a touchy uncle, neat? No? All right, that's fine. I'll just have your car has been declined. I think that'll work best. I'll have your car has been declined. My dad was a cop in New York, and was going to come to North Carolina and get a boat to live his best life with a cop's pension, but then he knocked up my mom. So my mom would call me a flower, my dad would call me a whoopsie daisy. My dad was a great dad though. He would always make sure I was home when the street lights came on, which I don't know if you know, that's really old people parenting advice. And I was in the suburbs. I had a little white friend named Parker. Sometimes I would be a little late playing some video games and my parents wouldn't get me. And I guess my dad had a rule for himself where he would have to be blackout drunk by the time the streetlights came on. So he would answer the door like, what is this? Didn't I tell you to be in here by the time the streetlights came on? Well, look around, they on. Now you tell Jedediah to go home because I don't want his mom over here asking for me. Now my dad knew Parker's name. He knew his family. Right? Every time it would be like a different white boy name. What is this? Didn't I tell you to be here by the time the lights came on? Well, look around, they on. Now you tell Zachary to go home too, because I don't want his mom over here asking about me. Great guy. I have a very special place in my heart for cops for that reason. I'm gonna close with a ode to police. I like live comedy, but Zoom comedy was also great. It was a nice way to avoid the police. You know, if you look a certain way, you know how it plays out when you see a cop. We all know the words, right? It's like, this is something fun. The Miranda Slide Part 1, featuring the boys in blue. And this time, we're gonna get arrested. Arrested. Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands. Put them up. Let me see your hands. All right, now we're gonna start with the basic questions. Where you coming from? Where you going? Let me see your ID. Read slowly. Hands where I can see. I'm gonna go check your out. Sit on the curb. Now it's time to get frisky. Right hand on the wall. Left hand on the wall. Spread your legs. Any drugs in possession? Anything like a weapon? Freeze. Stay still while I pat you down. Thank you, everybody. That's my time. Thank you, Clark. Nice. Nice.